Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're cutting through all the noise, the confusing hype around artificial intelligence, and specifically large language models, LLMs. We are really here to focus on one thing, the thing that matters most to any business owner: how these tools are putting cold, hard, real money back into your pockets. We are talking about actual profit.
And that's the crucial shift, right? For years, AI was this thing you'd only read about, at Google or Amazon. But the cost to run these things is just plummeted, and they're so much more accessible now. The whole playing field has changed. We've really found four core powerful ways that lean businesses are seeing, well, immediate and measurable profit from LLMs.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission is to walk through those four profit centers. But first, before we get into the money, we got to nail down what we're even talking about. So what exactly is an LLM? You said like you're explaining to a parent who just finished like a 12-hour shift.
That's easy. At its core, it's a smart writing tool that never sleeps, never complains, and it never steals snacks from the break room. It doesn't just write either. It can analyze, summarize, adapt, even speak different languages, all at lightning speed.
That employee sounds highly illegal.
And very popular.
They're probably extremely popular with management, yeah. But I love it. So our deep dive today is simple: exploring these four profit methods. Let's start with the one that gives the fastest return, which is, well, just saving money.
Exactly. When you run a small business, time is your most expensive resource, period. So the number one way LLMs deliver immediate cost savings is by automating the boring tasks.
The boring tasks.
Yeah, the emails, summarizing long reports, generating meeting minutes, even drafting standard HR docs. It's all that cognitive busy work that just drains human energy.
And when we look at the research, the numbers are pretty significant, right? Especially for small teams where everyone is wearing like 10 different hats.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The research, and this is aggregated across a bunch of sectors, it shows that businesses adopting these tools report reducing their overall operational costs by up to 30%.
30%. Wow.
And to put that in, human terms, they're saving more than 20 hours of valuable time each month.
Per employee.
Per employee who's using the tool regularly, yeah.
20 hours is half a work week saved. That is massive. So if we translate that time back into dollars, what are small businesses, realistically seeing?
For a small team, we're seeing estimated monthly savings from around $500 to $2,000.
Okay.
And I know that might not sound like a lot to a huge corporation, but for a local business, that's your software budget. That might even be the rent on a small office. It's real capital.
That kind of predictable monthly saving just changes the stress level, I imagine. So where's the highest impact area for those cost cuts?
Customer service, without a doubt. I mean, historically, small businesses had to spend so much on agents just to answer the same 10 questions over and over. LLMs can now handle up to 80% of those routine questions.
80%.
Which means fewer hours are wasted on busy work.
And fewer hours wasted probably means fewer human errors that lead to, expensive fixes down the line.
Mm-hmm.
We saw this play out on a huge scale, didn't we?
We did, yeah. And while our focus is small businesses, the scale really helps illustrate the potential here. We saw these major global companies like Klarna adopt AI helpers for customer service, and they save tens of millions of dollars a year just by deflecting routine questions to the AI. That same tech, that same efficiency is now affordable enough for the local repair shop.
That's not pocket change. That's maybe I'll retire early money.
Okay,
so that covers cutting costs. Let's move to the second pillar of profit: actively bringing in more customers.
Yeah.
How do LLMs turn that internal efficiency into, actual sales?
It all comes down to speed and personalization, the two things modern customers demand. When a lead comes in online, they expect a response right now. LLMs can provide 24/7 intelligent support, so replies happen instantly, whether it's 1 p.m. or 1 a.m.
Okay, but hang on. Isn't there a risk that those replies sound, generic or robotic, and that they might actually hurt your sales if the personalization isn't good?
That's a great question, and it's why using modern LLMs is so different from those, old, rigid chatbots from 5 years ago. These new models are sophisticated enough to pull context from the customer's question and craft a hyper-personalized, relevant first response. They're not just saying, thanks for your email, they're intelligently summarizing what the person needs and moving them forward.
So the speed is married to relevance, and that's what drives the sales.
Precisely. And beyond just customer service, LLMs help your sales and marketing teams move way faster. They can write more convincing, targeted sales messages, and just rapidly generate tons of high-quality marketing content.
Like what? Blog posts?
SEO blog posts, ad copy, product descriptions, all without having to hire extra copywriters. The data shows that AI-powered sales tools can increase qualified leads by up to 50%.
50% more qualified leads without increasing headcount. I mean, that's the small business dream right there. Can you give us a concrete example of that in the field?
Yeah, think about real estate. It's so competitive, and it's all based on speed. There was this team in Arizona that was struggling to follow up fast enough on their online leads, which is a classic problem. So they set up an AI agent trained to answer those leads instantly, qualify them, and then book a showing. And just by improving that follow-up speed, they got around 30% more appointments booked.
Oh, 30% more.
Yeah. The AI was doing that crucial instant triage work that, humans just can't manage 24/7.
Wow. Imagine your phone actually doing the follow-up you always forget to do.
Exactly. Now, let's get to the third way LLMs drive profit, which is creating entirely new income streams. This is where AI moves beyond just efficiency and it actually opens up brand new capabilities.
Okay, but if my small team is already, running ragged trying to keep up with the work we have, how are we supposed to suddenly launch a whole new service? That sounds like more work, not less.
That's the magic, right? Because the LLM handles the complex planning and the execution, your existing team can expand their service offering without expanding their labor hours. So for instance, if you're a small marketing agency, you might have always said no to clients who needed content in, say, French or Spanish because you didn't have a translator. Well, now you can sell professional multilingual content translation services because the LLM does the bulk of the writing. It lets you capture revenue from jobs you used to just say no to.
So it's about scaling your capability without scaling the human labor. It's like having an invisible polyglot assistant.
Yes, and crucially, it enables passive after-hours revenue because the AI can qualify leads, respond to inquiries, or even book appointments while your team is sleeping. You are literally making money 24/7.
Okay, do you have a specific example of that, the after-hours profit thing? Because that sounds like a game changer.
So it is. There was a great case study of an HVAC company that relied on emergency service calls. They installed an AI phone assistant, trained it on their pricing and scheduling, and it was set up specifically to handle calls at night and on weekends when the dispatcher was off. Just by capturing and booking those after-hours leads, which would have otherwise gone to voicemail or a competitor, the company generated about $10,000 extra per month.
$10,000 extra, generated entirely outside of business hours. So the robot basically paid its own rent.
And probably the human dispatcher's salary, too. Yeah.
Which brings us to our final profit method, increasing output with the exact same team. How do you squeeze more out of the people you already have?
Well, this one is all about removing the cognitive burden. The LLM's superpower here is generating the first draft.
The hardest part.
It is. Staring at a blank page. LLMs are fantastic at creating that initial draft of an email, a document, a sales message, whatever. It saves employees hours every week just by eliminating that starting friction.
So you're not starting from a blank page anymore. You're starting from like a nearly finished product that just needs your human touch.
Exactly. And another critical piece, especially for growing businesses, is internal knowledge access. Small businesses, they often have their critical documents, the employee manual, pricing sheets, client notes, just scattered everywhere.
A knowledge graveyard, we call it that.
A knowledge graveyard, precisely. So LLMs, when you set them up right, they can act like an internal search engine for all that data. An employee can just ask a normal question, like, what are the refund conditions for our EU customers, and get an instant factual answer pulled directly from those scattered documents.
And this taps into that idea of, vibe coding.
That's a fantastic parallel for efficiency, yeah. Andres Carpetha coined that term, and it perfectly describes how you can use high-level prompts, the vibe, to get functional output, even if you're not a coding expert. For a business, this just means your staff can focus on the higher-value strategic decisions instead of the manual writing or documentation. It empowers everyone.
Finally, we can all stop pretending we enjoy writing emails.
Right. So for the listener who wants to start right now and capture all these benefits, what should they actually do first? It can feel a little overwhelming.
It doesn't have to be. We've got a really simple, low-risk starter plan. And remember, you should always start with your business pain points, not the tech. Don't go buy some complex AI platform just because you heard it was cool.
Exactly. Step 1, pick one repetitive task that consumes way too much time. Be ruthless. Is it summarizing support tickets, drafting weekly reports, answering the same 5 FAQs? Just pick one painful task.
Okay, step 2. Ask an LLM tool to do the rough draft or the initial response for you. Use it as an assistant for just that one task. Critically review the output. Don't blindly trust it, but let it do the heavy lifting of that first draft.
And step 3, use the time you saved, those precious hours you got back, to focus on the highest value work, sales, strategy, or customer outreach.
Or a nap. The nap is optional, but highly encouraged.
A well-deserved nap. To sum it all up, the message is really clear. LLMs help you make more money by cutting costs, bringing in customers, creating new income, and helping your team work faster, all without you having to work harder.
And if you're still worried about the cost of these tools, especially at volume, the economics are changing so fast that the barrier is just evaporating. This is probably the most compelling metric for small businesses right now.
It truly is. We are seeing the rise of these incredibly cost-efficient AI models. We should explain the pricing, though. AI models charge based on tokens, and you can just think of tokens as tiny little units of text, like a fraction of a word.
Got it. So how cheap are we talking now?
Well, look at the pricing today. These extremely efficient models, like, say, Grok 4 Fast, they're charging only 20 cents per 1 million input tokens.
20 cents for 1 million tokens.
1 million tokens is enough to process hundreds of thousands of words. I mean, compare that to prices even a year ago, and the drop is just astronomical.
That democratization of AI, it means that high-volume uses, like running those 24/7 chatbots we talked about or the internal knowledge searches, are finally affordable for small teams. This is how you can start competing on the speed and responsiveness of the biggest companies out there.
Exactly. The cost challenge, which was once this huge barrier, is vanishing. So the only question left for a business owner is no longer, can I afford this? It's, how fast can I wire this into my own process to start profiting?
That is a perfect final thought for you to chew on. Thank you so much for this deep dive, and thank you, listener, for joining us. We'll catch you next time.